Namaste. Today we'll talk about research super leadership. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled has made it all the difference. Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. We have discussed two prominent researchers. We discussed in detail about Richmond, Hackman and Yates. We now further extend few more researchers. Today we'll talk about Charles Manz and Henry Sims, their approach towards leadership in building self-governing members and teams. In my research model, there is an important moderator we'll discuss later. Charles Manz completed his PhD in 1981 from Pennsylvania University and published more than 17 papers and written books. One of the articles he has written for AOM is Taking the Self-Leadership High Road, Smooth Surface or Potholes Ahead. He stated that this article is intended to help expand our thinking via a journey about a self-leadership high road. The concept of high-level self-leadership is addressed in terms of the degree to which self-influence processes are characterized, authenticity, responsibility, and increasing capacity. We have a co-author, Henry Sims. Both of them have written many papers together. Henry Sims Jr. had completed PhD from Michigan University and was the founder chairman of Eastern Academy of Management. He published over 75 articles. Henry and Manz coined and discussed in detail about super leadership. Manz believes that there are many new self-leadership insights and strategies left to be discovered that will allow customized applications. A few of these considerations include authenticity, responsibility, and virtue, and expanded self-leadership capacity via collaboration, emotion, and a variety of other factors. Example is fitness and health of relationship, physical stimuli that trigger body-mind connections, and failure. As a part of a broader and positively existential approach to self-influence, creating and identifying self-leadership perspectives and strategies that address high-level standards he calls higher whys, requires an extension and expansion of our thinking regarding what we know and what to learn about self-leadership. There are two strategies. Behavioral focused strategies, which can be supported by natural rewarding strategies. The second one is constructive thought strategies, which is supported by self-leadership. We will now discuss on Beyond the Myth of Heroic Leadership by Manz and Sims. The author states the article that we should move from charismatic leaders such as Winston Churchill and Lee Iacocca. He suggests heroic leader figure of the leader the most appropriate image of the organization. Heroic leader is the most appropriate leader is one who can lead others to lead themselves. The style of leadership best provides a spark and supports the flame of the true inner leadership that dwells within each person. The challenge for the organization is to understand how to go about bringing out the wealth of a talent that each one possesses. He further suggests 4 different types of leaders can be distinguished: the strongman, the transactor, the visionary hero, and the super leader. First, strongman. The strongman view of leadership still exists today in many organizations. John Wayne type who is not afraid to knock some heads to get followers to do what he wants to be done. They are abrasive and often unwilling to listen. Examples: we suspect that the majority of the employees at the Eastern Airlines would describe CEO Frank Lorenzo as a strong man. Second, transactor. The second view of leadership is that of a transactor. With this view, the emphasis was increasingly placed on a rational exchange approach, exchange of rewards for work performed in order to get workers to do their work. Taylor's view on scientific management, which still influences significantly many organizations in many industries, emphasized the importance of providing incentives to get work to be done, long as the rewards keep coming. Perhaps one of the most and successful transactor organizations in the world today is PepsiCo, the company which phrases boot camp, back-breaking standards, etc. I have witnessed the same style in Coca-Cola. Fourth, a visionary hero. Here is the focus is the leader ability to create highly motivating and absorbing visions. The leader represents the source of wisdom and direction. Followers, at least in this theory, are expected to commit to the vision and the leader. Fifth is the super leader. Super to create an image of larger than life who has all the answers and is able to bend others' wills to his or her own leaders. Super is that we can possess the strength and wisdom of many persons by helping to unleash their abilities of the followers that surround them. Widespread introduction of modern management techniques such as quality circle, self-managed work teams, Japanese business practices, and flatter organization structure has led to the inherent dilemma of trying to provide strong leadership for workers who are being encouraged and allowed to become increasingly self-managed. There are 7 steps to super leadership. Step 1. Becoming a self-leader. In a tape interview from the historic files of Hewlett Packard, David Packard, co-founder of Hewlett Packard, described Bo as a young man. He used a daily schedule as a strategy to organize his own efforts. I was resolved that I was going to have everything organized. So when I was a freshman, I had a schedule set for every day, what I was going to do every hour of the day, and times set up in the morning to study certain things. You did have to allocate your time. At a very young age, David Packard was developing the self-leadership skills that became so crucial to his later success as an executive. Self-leadership is the influence we exert on ourselves to achieve the self-motivation and self-direction. We need to perform behaviorally focused strategies. These strategies include self-observation, self-goal setting, cue or role management, self-reward, constructive self-punishment or self-criticism, and rehearsal. Step 2 is modeling self-leadership. In this step is to demonstrate these skills to subordinate employees, that is our own self-leadership behavior, serve as a model from which others can learn. As Marx Dupree, chairman of Herman Miller, the fine furniture maker, says, it is not what you preach, but how you behave. Self-leadership can be inspiring. Who can forget the image of Jimmy Carter as he humbly went about building low-cost housing with his own hammer and nails. The sight of a former US president engaging in a relatively minor self-leadership behavior had more influence than anything he could have said. Step 3. Encouraging self-set goals. Goal setting in general has been one of the most actively investigated aspects of employee behavior and performance. Super leader is to improve the performance of subordinates through the development of their own self-leadership capabilities. Employee self-goal setting is a key element. IBM believes its investment in the self-leadership capability of these eminent scientists will pay off in the long run. Step 4. Creative positive thought patterns. Constructive thought patterns are an important element in successful leadership. In 1990, Jack Welch, CEO of General Electric, thinks this issue is critical. We need to drive confidence deep into the organization. The super leader creates productive thought patterns by carefully expressing confidence in the employee ability to extend his or present level of competence. Step 5. Develop self-leadership through reward and constructive reprimand. One of the super leadership most important strategies in developing employee self-leadership is reward and reinforcement. One example is incentive systems. Super leader is to lead others to self-leadership, then an essential ingredient to teach employees how to reward themselves and to build natural rewards into their own work. The focus should be to treat a mistake as a learning opportunity, persons to provide positive acceptance of despite their mistakes, and to remember how the opportunity to make mistake was a critical element in super leadership's own development. Step 6 is to promote self-leadership through teamwork. One of the most interesting examples of self-leadership system is the team-oriented system at Volvo. Instead of investment of $315 million, Udola plant approached team-based line with no conveyor lines. The key organization philosophy at this plant is the work team, and the technical system has been designed to match the team concept. As Peter Geilenhammer, Volvo CEO, says, I want the people in a team to be able to go home at night and really say, I built the car. Step 7. Facilitate a self-leadership culture. A major factor in developing super leadership is the challenge of the designing an integrated organization culture that is conducive to high performance. One company that has shown demonstrable results of an effort to develop a self-leadership culture is Xerox Corporation, winner of the Malcolm Baldrige Model Quality Award. At Xerox, the quality effort includes plant-level employees, family groups that work with little direct supervision. Perhaps this spirit has been captured by Lao Tzu in a 6th century BC Chinese philosopher when he wrote the following: "A leader is the best when people barely know he exists, not so good when people obey him and acclaim him, worse when they dispute him, but of a good leader who takes little when his work is done, his aim is fulfilled." Jai Hind.